Shabbat Shalom, everyone. So my husband and I have 2 children, and I found it very difficult to decide on their names. It didn't bother Adiv as much. He was a little more chill, but first we had to figure out which relative that we wanted to honor, and then we wanted a Hebrew name, but it had to be something Americans could pronounce. But my troubles were more existential. I felt the pressure of choosing this child's lifelong identity. Would the name suit them? Would they like their name? Apparently, it runs in the family. My parents had a hard time picking my name. My mother wanted to name me Hannah after her grandmother, but my father thought it was too old-fashioned, so they compromised. My name for everyday use is Ilana, which means tree, and my name for ritual Jewish services is Hannah, which means grace. And I have sometimes wondered if it would change who I was in the world if I had been named Hannah instead of Ilana. Almost every culture around the world has some sort of naming ritual for an infant. Many cultures have a ritual as a rite of passage into adulthood of adding to someone's name or changing someone's name, and it's not uncommon for cultures to have a way to change the name of a person in the face of illness or misfortune. Names are powerful. They're the way we see ourselves in the world. They are the way that others see us. And in this week's portion, Rachel and Jacob have a difficult time naming their child. We're told in Genesis 35, as she breathed her last, for she was dying, she named him Ben-Oni. But his father called him Ben-Yamin. Rachel chose the name Ben-Oni, which might mean son of my pain, but could equally well mean son of my strength. Now it makes sense why she would name him both things. Perhaps he was the son of her pain after a difficult labor, knowing that the labor had taken her life. Or perhaps she felt sorrow knowing that her child would grow up without his mother. But I can see why she would name him son of my strength instead. She had stayed alive long enough to bring him into the world alive. Maybe she wanted to gift him with strength because she knew it would be difficult to grow up without a mother. And then there's the name that Jacob chose. Ben-Yamin is understood by the sages in 3 different ways. One is the son of my days, meaning that Benjamin was born in Jacob's old age, and he saw Benjamin as his last child, the culmination of his days. It can also mean son of the south, which makes sense because the tribe of Benjamin's territory in the future would be towards the south of all the tribes. And finally, Benjamin can mean son of my right hand, meaning in the honored place. In biblical times, to the right was the place of honor. And in the future, it would be the territory of Benjamin that would hold the temple. So it was an honorable place. These 2 names that the parents gave their son have 5 possible meanings. And I'd like to have a conversation now. These are questions posed by Rachel Zarin for us to imagine the significance of this moment. What do you think Rachel was thinking when she named her son Ben-Oni? Did she mean son of my pain, or did she mean son of my strength, or did she mean both? What do you think? Arnie says both. Do you have a reason why? It makes sense to you that he represented both to her. Yes, Leah.
All the different meanings that a name can have, and you're only going to choose one.
So Leah says, when you name a child, you'll consider all the connotations that the name might have, but you'll pick the one that is the one you intend for that child. Here's another question. Oh, yes, Steve. So Steve says pain and strength might be synonymous. You need strength to survive pain. And I think the inverse is true also. Sometimes painful experiences make us strong. What might Jacob have been thinking when he decided to call their child Benjamin instead? Why would he do that? Roz? He wished for strength for his child. He didn't want a name that might be misconstrued as son of my pain. That's a burden to walk through life with. Oh, you're the kid whose mother died in childbirth, right? That's pretty hard. So Jacob portrayed strength in moving forward after his beloved Rachel's death. But the name he chose means son of my right hand, son of the south, or son of my days. Jerry.
Thinking about Jacob's personality, I would think that he was calling attention to how old he was, and that his naming of him that son of my days, because he was thinking, and now that Rachel, his beloved, was gone, he wasn't planning on having any more children anyway.
So Jerry says almost the opposite of John, which is, knowing Jacob's personality, he would think Jacob was saying, this is the son of my days. Now that my beloved Rachel is gone, I'm ready to give up on life or reach the end of my days. Neil. According to the text, they knew she was dying. Yes, so he made this choice after hearing his dying wife name their child. He changed the name. But it was a different time and place. Haley.
Perhaps after she died, he's lost his right hand. She was his right hand.
Haley says perhaps after Rachel died, he feels like he lost his right hand. And so he wanted to honor her or remember her by naming his child after how she made him feel. Yes, John, and then Fran. And Jacob himself had a name change. So John says, your right hand is strong, and having gone through the pain of wrestling with an angel, he came out stronger, and he wanted a name that represented that. And he wanted to turn the pain of losing his wife into strength. Francine, did you raise your hand?
Yeah, my grandma died year before I was born. So then when I was born, I was named sort of after her.
Francine shared that her grandmother died the year before she was born and that she was named after her. Yes, Adiv. So he says he did preserve part of the name that Rachel gave her son because Benjamin and Ben-Oni both have the Ben part. And he points out that of all the children born, out of all 13, this is the only one who gets Ben put into the title of the name. Thank you for sharing your insights. And that concludes our Torah study in here for the morning.